Hello friends, it's Sherry from Turquoise Dreaming. How you doing tonight? Hope you're doing well. I am having a great night and I want to welcome you to my channel. I'm doing a little cleaning up and organizing in my craft room, and I wanted to do some destashing of my fabric. I have picked out some of these same fabrics to keep, but I wanted to share some too because I just don't want to get my craft room too over cluttered. So I just have two fabric packs, that's all. So I was going to go through these and let you know most of it's the same, but I'll show you the differences when I show you the second one. So this one I'm just going to flip over and then I will show you the differences in the second one. But this one just starts off, and these are pretty good sized pieces. I'll try to show you in the camera, but you know, it's a small kind of a screen I'm dealing with here, so we'll see what fits in. But this is this first piece of lace here, and a lot of these are vintage and some of them may not be vintage. Sometimes it's hard to tell when you're buying fabric from a thrift store, but most of them I bought because they look vintage or are vintage, and also because they gave me, you know, I love color and I like the modern mid-century look also, besides the like vintagey floral look. So a lot of variety in this pack. So that's two. I'm going to try to count them. I think there's 25 here as we go through, but that's two. This one was from a pillow sham, so just a good size piece there, and it's an orangey, kind of orangey red. And with the circles, I thought that was so pretty, and that would be pretty on a spine or on a cover or whatever you do with your fabric. So that was three. And I try to keep track. Sometimes it's hard when you're talking and counting. This is four though, and so you can see how pretty that is. Very pretty and a good size piece there. And I tried to make each size, each piece big enough for a journal cover at least, or, you know, of course, you know, there's a lot of different fabric crafts, so, but that's what I do with my fabric. So that's what I had in mind when I cut these pieces, to make it big enough for a journal cover. And that's another piece. I think we're up to 5. Number 6 is an eyelet piece from a scarf. This one I cut up because it wasn't perfect. It was a little damaged, but a perfect piece to use and cut up and use, you know, in your journals or other crafts. So it has a little like ruffle trim here on it, and then the base of it is this pretty eyelet kind of fabric, and it's white, and this one is old, I know. And so that was 5, I believe. Number 6 is a floral. Most of these are fabric remnants. So a good size piece here, and it's pretty pink and blue flowers, and the flowers almost like they're little, they look blue, almost a little maybe violet, but more on the blue side. So just a really pretty fabric there. And most of them seem like they're cotton, but I am not a fabric expert. So, you know, I'm not going to guarantee what they are made of, but I believe they're all mostly cotton. And here's a pretty other kind of mauve with a kind of botanical in it. You can see there the pattern. And this is a good size long piece here. It goes all the way from here and all the way over here. So a really long piece there. And so like the sizes that I'm showing you, I had the same exact, well, as close as I could get anyway, the same sizes in the other pack. This is a little piece of a quilt. It was a pillow cup, like a quilt square. It has the blanket backing on it still. So that was just a pretty quilt square. And this is another fabric remnant here. Just thought that was kind of different and pretty. It has the florals on it. It looks like almost like a little bird there. I'm not sure, but just really pretty. Kind of gave me a French vibe with that, with the colors here in this one. So it's a good variety, you know. It's not you know, coordinated or anything, just a good variety of colors. This one is actually a napkin, but it's a really big one, big napkin. And I just thought these looked like little pots of, well, they look like little pots of flowers, of course, and from a distance they look like geraniums to me, and I love geraniums. So, but if you look up close, they look like different types of flowers. And then they have the green leaves. They're in little pots there, so I thought that was so cute. Maybe we'll count these when I get done, because I'm not keeping up with the count here. This one is, I thought, was pretty. It looked kind of Pennsylvania Dutch almost to me, with these almost tulip looking flowers, and the colors are bright and pretty. And this is kind of a quilted placemat, and it has a ruffle trim on it. And I got a whole pack of these, so I put one in each of here, and it's got the backing and everything on it, and I just thought it was pretty. So there's one of those in there. And let's see. Let me take this one out because I've got a double of those. Make sure I have one in the other pack. Okay. And the next one is this pretty kind of rose with the green leaves. And this is a big square. Here, I'll unfold it to show you. Oh, this is a long, narrow piece like the other one. That's the back. And here's the front. You can see how vibrant the colors are on this side. And it's real long. So I tried to put as much as I could in each pack so that whoever gets these will just have a good amount of fabric to work with and add to their stash. So another remnant here. This one was pretty. I don't know what this is from. Do I? Yes, I think this looked like it was from, this looks like it was from I didn't have the whole thing, but I had a piece. And so this looks like it's either from a pillowcase or a sheet. But I just love this kind of 70s looking floral here. And the colors, of course, the pinks and kind of tangerine colors or orangey kind of colors there, and just yellows and just all purples and things, just really pretty. And then here's one. I've used some of this on one of my journals recently, and it went so well with kind of a 70s colors on these flowers, the orange, yellow, the kind of avocado green. And I just thought this looked really pretty on the journal that I had done with it had kind of an avocado green cover, and this floral fabric just went really pretty with it. And then this is a piece of a scarf. Also, you know, I only cut the scarves up if they're damaged. If they're not damaged, I just sell them as a whole in my shop, a whole piece. But this one was damaged, so I did go ahead and cut it. And it has this pretty part in the middle that can be used separately if you wanted to cut pieces of this. And then it has this pretty knit or crocheted piece on the edges, and it's wide. This part on the edges is about two inches wide, so that could be cut off and used separately. So really nice piece of that, kind of a neutral color, and it looks old to me just from the coloring and everything. And then this looks like I had got a pack of these and just got them for the neutrality of it, just a kind of light beige or cream colored, and I think it probably was a napkin, you know, a cloth napkin. So I've got one of those that can be cut up. And this is another neutral piece, but this is an old piece that I cut out, and it's got some pattern here. I don't know if it'll pick it up in the camera, but it's got some kind of floral pattern on this end right here. And then it's got this kind of little bit of decoration right here on the end. And it was just an old, I think it was a scarf possibly for like a table or like to go on the top of a dresser. but just an old vintage piece there that's neutral that can be used. This was, I've only had a couple of these and I put them in here. I like the color. I don't know, I think maybe they're handkerchiefs. And so it's got the pretty color, the pretty green color, and then it's got this lace right over here, so that can be cut up in however anyone would wish, and just a pretty little piece of fabric. And then the next thing is another like pretty eyelet scarf. This one was really pretty, and I was disappointed that it had like right here is some of the damage, but it's the perfect thing to cut up and use, you know, as whatever you want to do with your fabric crafts. It's got this pretty border on it too, so the border could be cut off separately, and then this whole middle part used separately. So just, you know, lots of things you can do with your fabric remnants. And the last couple of things in each pack, these last few things are different in each pack. Like up to here, I think it was all the same in both packs. And then the last few pieces, like, yeah, there's a piece of this in both. So these two are the two things that are different. The embroidered piece here, this one was a very, you know, had a lot of embroidery on it here and just really pretty. You can see the edging. There's this embroidery all around the edging. And then this pretty part here all over the middle. And then this side has, you know, a design to it, or a shape, different shape to it. And this again is another piece that's not perfect, so I didn't sell it in my shop as a whole, but it's a perfect piece to be cut up because it has a little bit of damage right there. And the coloration is, I mean, maybe it can be washed, but the coloration is kind of dingy right in here. So a perfect little piece of embroidery to maybe you want to scan it and then cut it up, or whatever you want to do. So that's with this pack. And then I have a doily in this one that I decided to go ahead and part with. Just have too many things right now. I need to keep things decluttered in here. So this is a piece I included, and what I will do, if you don't mind me taking a second, I'll count them really quick here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and 22 in this one. Now let me show you the two. I think there's only two different things in the other one, but it's the same exact, as much as I could be, exact size and fabrics in the second one, except for the things that are right on top here. And see, here's that piece that I told you. All from here down is all the same. The things that are different are the top two, like embroidered type things. So this was an embroidered handkerchief that I included with this one. And you can also scan this really pretty embroidery on here. All 4 corners has the embroidery, and this one was damaged right here. So that's why I'm including this as a fabric scrap. And it has this pretty trim on the outside of this going all the way around that could be taken off and used separate too if you wanted. So that's included with this one. And the other piece, I didn't have any other doilies. I don't have that many doilies, so I didn't have another doily to put this with this one. So I included this pretty, another kind of this is kind of like a towel, a small towel, like a tea towel almost. So it's like got this neutral fabric where it's been embroidered here. It's got a hem kind of on the bottom here, and this little blue trim across the bottom. And then it's got this pretty candle here, and it says, I believe it says for guests. So this is like a little guest towel or guest, it reminds me of a tea towel, but it's small. So maybe, and it has a candle on it. So it doesn't give me a bathroom vibe, but maybe it was in the kitchen, someone's kitchen, and they just made this like a little tea towel for their home, and just some really pretty, and it looks like a candle to me with flowers. I don't know what it really is, but you can decide. Whoever gets it can decide. But I thought it was a pretty little piece of embroidery that can be also scanned and then you know, cut up if you want, or whatever you want. You don't have to cut it up. So those are going in my shop, and each about, what I say, 22 pieces. So I'm not sure what the price is going to be right now, but they're not going to be a whole lot. Whatever, a little bit of $15 maybe, plus shipping. So that would probably be fair. And so those are going to my shop. I hope you enjoyed those. And I have some more fabrics that I'm going to actually put into my shop as pretty whole pieces, and I will show you those in another video. So hope you enjoyed those. Those are just some fabrics I've been collecting that I've been making journals out of, so I wanted to share them. So I'll see you next time, and happy crafting.